All right. Afternoon, everybody. Good evening, I guess. Um, I don't have the best judgment in the world. I got some work done on my teeth today, and they had to numb me up. And I'm not even kidding. Up until about 15 minutes ago, the entire left side of my face was completely numb, like to the point where I couldn't feel my left nose nostril. But fortunately, I'm now not numb, and I can speak appropriately, so that's good. Um, anyway. Career considerations. Before we get started with the lecture material, I'm going to pass around an attendance sheet. Um, Go ahead and write in your name next to uh, your name there. Uh, any questions about anything before we get started? I know last night there was about 6 or 7 people that stayed afterwards to ask questions, which was great. Feel free to do that tonight or any night. Yeah. Are you going to turn them in? They're just for you. Yep. All right. What else? Should you turn them in? What do you think? You want it to be private? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean it's really for you guys. Any other questions? Does anyone not have one of those packets? Everyone has a packet. Okay. You're gonna want to remember it next time. Yeah, remember bring your packet. All right. So career considerations. We're gonna take a test. Um, Not gonna be graded, anything like that. We're going to take the Holland type test. This is a commonly used personality or interest test to evaluate what sorts of careers a person might find interesting. So you're going to go to this link here, https openpsychometrics.org/test/RIASEC. And there's going to be a multiple choice test. Go ahead and take it. When you're done taking the test, it's going to give you your scores. Make sure to leave that window open with your scores. You can take it on a laptop, cell phone, whatever. Totally fine. Any questions about that? Straightforward. Good. The question here is, what is your Holland code? So the measure you just took has 6 different measures on it, 6 different scales. One that measures a realistic orientation or interest, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. And what it does is you all have 6 scores, one for each of these 6 areas, and your 3 highest scores are what's referred to as your Holland code, your interest pattern, your career interest pattern. Mine is IAS. Anyone else have IAS by chance? Whoa, there's like quite a few IAS. That's pretty cool. Um, and what's cool about this is in the scores, on the score page, you have your type. So your type is that's better. Your type, for one, is the highest score you have in those 6 areas. So my highest score was investigative. So I have that under my type. And then again, the top 3 scores are your code, right? And I'm IAS. So you can see that those are the 3 areas I scored highest on. And then at the bottom here, it has a list of occupations for the IAS, which is me. Your you know, code's going to be different, most likely. List of occupations can be found here. So if you click on this link down here, on your score sheet. Go ahead and click on it. It'll have a list of occupations that are a good fit for your personality style, or rather, more specifically, your interest style. Funny enough, me, clinical psychologist. It's pretty cool. So it worked out. It was pretty consistent for me at least.
And then meanwhile, I'm over here with like, few occupations matched your chosen interest areas. You suck and have no prospects for the future. Also, does someone have a pencil I can borrow? I can't get myself in there. It's not working in that direction.
Someone, pencil? No? Thank you. All right. What we're going to do is look through, first of all, write down your type, your number one score, your highest score. Write down your code, the 3 letters, and then look through the occupations on that website link. It's at the bottom of your score page. Which ones seem like a good fit? Which are interesting to you, and which are a good fit with a psychology degree? Take about 3 minutes or so to do that. Anyone not sign the attendance sheet? Okay.
Okay. I think the thing that threw off.
All right. Scales measure. So, all right. All right, so who are my realistic people? Your highest was realistic? Anyone? No one was realistic? Okay. Well, realistic people, these are people who, like to, work with their hands, machinery, fix things, building things, very present-oriented, and they focus prominently on getting tangible results that you can see, touch, or feel, right? So a lot of people who go into vocational programs, they tend to be realistic, um, tend to go into situations of minimal interaction with others and organized job environments. Okay, so those are the realistic people. And they're motivated by hands-on, tangible results. And what would they buy? This is like I don't know. It's almost like Family Feud or something. I don't know. What would they buy? Boats, campers, sports equipment, power tools, sports magazines, adventure books. These are the realistic people. Investigative. These are the thinkers. We're the investigative people in the room. I'm an investigative person myself. Tend to be curious, um, intellectuals, introverted, insightful, tend to be more scientifically oriented, enjoy mental challenges, like getting your pointer to work. What we're going to do is look through, first of all, write down your type, your number one score, your highest score. Write down your code, the 3 letters, and then look through the occupations on that website link. And motivated by curiosity, learning, and knowledge. And what would they buy? Telescopes, computers, books, puzzles, science fiction, and mystery novels. So. And like beer brewing equipment. Artistic. Who are the artistic people in the class? Okay, cool. All right. So they're the music, art, drama, tend to be more creative, independent, enjoy beauty, variety, what is unusual. Like to work in unstructured settings typically, and want to bring creativity to their work. We see working in places like theaters, advertising, public relations, museums, libraries, education. For me, clinical psychologist. pretty cool. So it worked out. It was pretty consistent for me at least.
And then meanwhile, I'm over here like, few occupations matched your chosen interest areas. You suck and have no prospects for the future. Also,
Social. Yeah, we got a lot of social people, I'm sure. Um, like to work with people. Um, deep concern for people, want to help people, good interpersonal skills, like to talk about their feelings, right? A lot of psychologists are social people. I'm not the most, S was my final letter in mine. That's why I went to assessment and not therapy, because therapy is all about feelings, and I don't know, assessment's just about getting it right, so I like that more. Anyway, we need social people like you all. Like to work in unstructured settings where they feel they can make a difference. Social services, nonprofits, mental health fields, healthcare, community-based jobs. Motivated by helping others. What would they buy? Charity event tickets, food to entertain others, People magazines, self-help books, anything at a fundraiser. You guys are just like all saints. And then we have enterprising. Who are enterprising people? Just one, really? Okay. This is like to persuade, sell, lead. A lot of people in business are enterprising. Self-confident, sociable, ambitious, verbal, assertive, optimistic, and competitive, and like beer brewing equipment. You know. Artistic. Who are the artistic people in the class? Okay, cool. All right. So they're the music, art, drama, tend to be more what motivates them, persuading others, making a deal. What do they buy? I need to update this. Nice cars, good clothes, country club memberships, latest equipment, bestsellers in the Wall Street Journal. It's wow. Okay. All right. Then we have the conventional people. No one's conventional, really? Okay. These are the top one. Top one. Okay. So this is going to be people who are highly organized, real good attention to detail, practical, actually like to be managed, like order, prefer support roles within an organization that's well organized, and tend to like being given exact instructions on how to do things. What motivates them? Organizing things and bringing them together. What do they buy? Hobby collections, how-to books, file cabinets, and shelves. Something like that. All right. Oh, my clicker's working now. Good. All right. Career considerations. Any questions or any thoughts or reactions to the interests portion? Okay. Cool. Certainly your scores aren't going to define what you're going to do, and you might find that they change as well. Your interests over time. So you might even take it like a year from now and see. Maybe if your interests have shifted in a different direction. So career considerations continued. We've talked about interests. Now let's talk about level. So basically with level of education, you have 3 levels. Careers with a bachelor's degree, careers of a master's degree, and then careers of a doctorate. These are going to be PhD or a PsyD. We'll talk about the distinction there later on, but basically a PsyD is a psychologist-specific doctorate that's very clinically oriented, whereas a PhD, a lot of people earn PhDs, right? People can earn PhDs in physics and biology and sociology and psychology, and this tends to be more research-oriented. Okay, like I'm a PhD. JD, that's lawyer, right? We could also add like a MD up here as well. That'd be doctorate level of education. And let's talk first about the career options with a bachelor degrees, career options in psychology. So this is from APA, American Psychological Association, Center for Workforce Studies, and we have on top here a broad breakdown of careers of a bachelor's degree in psychology. And going back to 2017, a couple million people, this is from the United States, who had a bachelor's degree in psychology as their highest degree. 24% were not in the labor force. This means, they were retired or disabled. 4% were unemployed, and 72% were employed. Okay, so good employment rates, particularly in 2017. And we see here this concept map. You've probably seen these sorts of things. The larger the terms, the more people who work in those settings with a bachelor's degree in psychology. We see some of the common areas here are social work, management, a variety of different management positions. Makes sense, right? If you have a good understanding of psychology and how people work, then that sets you up well to manage others, right? Administration, and then you see here real small counselors. And it's difficult to find jobs where you're doing counseling with a bachelor's degree. It's just unlikely, okay? And in general, when they surveyed psychology degree holders, 62% of those with a bachelor's degree believe that their jobs are related to psychology in some way, and 27% believe that their jobs are closely related to psychology. Now, what you're going to see is as we increase the education level, these values are going to increase such that the jobs people have with a PhD, for example, are much more closely related to psychology than those with a bachelor's degree. Here's a sample of entry-level positions for if you have a bachelor's degree, what sorts of jobs you can get, and there's going to be a wide variety of jobs here. These are also listed in your packet. So go ahead and read through those jobs in your packet, and there's a reflection here. Circle a few that seem interesting to you. Yeah, pick your top 3 choices and then write why do they interest you. And do me a favor, I know we had the laptops out for the test, but go ahead and close them for the lecture material. Thank you. Master's degree. So here we see the numbers decreasing, right? We went from 2 million to 600,000 individuals who hold a master's degree. 21% not in the labor force. That's either going to be disabled or retired. 3% unemployment rate. 76 were employed. And when we look at the map here, now the largest terms are going to be counselors, psychologists, social workers, jobs that are more directly related to psychology. We also see here, though, top-level managers, executives, administrators. There's still quite a bit of variety in what sorts of jobs people end up doing with a master's degree. But what we do see is that people feel like the job they do is more related to psychology if they earned a master's degree for that job. So 90% believe that the jobs are related to psychology, 70% think that their jobs are closely related to psychology. That's a master's degree. And then we have a doctorate level degree. We're having, less people here, 200,000. Now we're looking at, a 2% unemployment rate. And we see here, clearly the largest occupation or most common occupation, psychologists, also teachers in psychology. counselors, and top-level managers, executives, and administrators. So there's still some variety in jobs, right? Now, here we see that people think that their jobs are very closely related to psychology, which makes sense. If you're going to go to school for 5 or 6 years and become that specialized in psychology, hopefully your job is related to psychology. Right. Questions? Questions? Okay, this is a broad. Now, how do you prepare for these different levels of education? Um, what's going to be most important? Well, if you have a bachelor's degree and you're going to go right into the job market, your extracurricular or practical experience is going to matter, right? As well as the connections that you make with other people. And these two things, extracurricular experience and connections, these are going to matter no matter what level of education you go to. So this sort of builds, each level builds upon the other, right? So master's degree, now not only extracurricular experience is going to be important, but clinically relevant experience. So for example, yesterday I talked about how in one of my classes, students did service at St. Vincent's Charity Hospital Detox Unit. That's clinically relevant experience that's going to be helpful for master's degree applications to the mental health treatment field. And now we have letters of recommendation that we need. Normally you need 3 letters of recommendation when you apply to graduate programs, and then a GPA of 3.0 or higher is going to be your best bet getting into a master's program, although you can get in with a lower GPA. Most of the time, the minimum GPAs for master's programs are set at 2.75. Now we move to the PsyD level, and these standardized test scores become more important, similar to like how the SAT or ACT was used for your John Carroll admission process. The GRE, the graduate record examination, is used for evaluating people who are applying to graduate schools, particularly at the doctoral level, like with PsyD programs. PsyD programs, minimum GPAs are going to tend to be around 3.5 or higher, or rather not minimum, but the average GPAs of people who are accepted into the programs are going to be about 3.5 or higher. And then we have PhD programs where now research experience is becoming a lot more important. Again, because the school is basically paying all your tuition and giving you money to come and help them do research. So it makes sense that they're going to look for people who have research experience and want to do research. And then the GPA averages are higher. For PhD programs, it's about 3.7 or higher is the average for accepted students. Questions? Just like mind-blowing, like
Stunned by your wisdom, sir.
okay, thanks. All right, any other questions? You all be all right. That's the main thing to take away.